Woodstock closed a ton in an impressive debut.
And they're off stride. Art's Last Stand, who is going to barrel out of there. So World of Rocknroll gets the early lead from in between horses. Whole Lot of Shakin', and Woodstock came away smoothly. He's third on the inside. In behind him is Rockin' Soul fourth. Kay Slater is wrestled down, looking to drop in behind the draft in fifth. And still on the gallop is Art's Last Stand, who's dropping out of it and trails the field. So World of Rocknroll finds himself 2 lengths clear as they head toward the quarter. Whole Lot of Shakin' in the loose pocket spot second. Woodstock tracks in third. Front split up in a comfortable 28-2. In behind and fourth is Rockin' Soul. He's about 6 lengths from the lead as they hit the back stretch. Then behind him, Kay Slater, and here comes Woodstock. T-Trick and Woodstock on the move from third, quickly up into second, and now challenging World of Rocknroll for the lead at the midpoint of the back stretch, and it is Woodstock who pokes ahead in front. World of Rocknroll yields for the pocket in second. Whole Lot of Shakin', 3 lengths behind that entry in third, and racing in fourth is Rockin' Soul. Kay Slater sticks with him in fifth. The half in a controlled 57-1. Art's Last Stand is way behind, trailing the field, so Woodstock easily got to the front and immediately backs things down once again. World of Rocknroll bump drafts T-Trick's helmet right there in second, so Woodstock is urged on just a bit, trying to keep pace. His Whole Lot of Shakin' in third. Rockin' Soul 2 lengths behind him. Then Kay Slater as they make their way toward the 3/4 marker, and Woodstock edges out to a 1.5 length lead. Still tracking his World of Rocknroll right there in second. Rockin' Soul fires up from the 4th spot for Brennan. He's gaining some ground. 3/4 in 1:26-3, and they're at the top of the stretch, and it's Woodstock, and Woodstock leads it by 2. World of Rocknroll tips to the outside in second, then Rockin' Soul and Whole Lot of Shakin', but it's Woodstock still 2 lengths clear, showing the whip, and he's solid. World of Rocknroll is chasing in second. They're heading down to the line. Woodstock will do it. Woodstock easily again. World of Rocknroll just to his wheel in second, and Rockin' Soul third, 1:52-4.
You knew it had to happen just after that 40th anniversary. A Woodstock Knoll daily double tonight. Another impressive mile from this $100,000 Rocknroll Hanover colt out of a sister to Art's Place. An effortless sprint over the off-going, 26-1.
Starting gate swings into the stretch. Third elimination of the Metro Pace lined up. Often pacing, Western Thorn is fast away from the inside. Also living with him is Piece of the Rock from the rail. Down the center, Payne's Landing is up into the mix in the early going. And from the extreme outside, here comes Fulfilled. Then it's back on the outside to Woodstock as he floats in some heavy traffic there. Epinephrine just to his inside. Then through at the rail is Codeword. A cavalry charge for the top spot as they go into the opening turn. Campbell secures the lead, sending Payne's Landing to the front. Away second is Western Thorn. Third through at the inside is Piece of the Rock. And backed up into fourth is Fulfilled. That first quarter was 27 4/5. Back there racing along from in fifth now is Codeword. Epinephrine is just off the speed from back in sixth. Landing the 7-hole was Woodstock. Further back towards the inside, Warway Legend has 2 rivals beaten as they march up to 3/8. On the outside, Fancy Free Shark with 1 rival beaten now, and that is Dr. Dreamy, who is last. Field well across the backstretch on the way to the midway point, and still with the lead for Campbell as the field marches up towards the midway point. That's Payne's Landing. Payne's Landing through an easy half here, 57 2/5. Payne's Landing stealing away with easy splits here. Campbell's got the whip up, ready to go over his back as they move into the far turn, though. Back in the pocket spot is Western Thorn, driving quickly third outside to second. Now comes Codeword. Tracking that cover is Epinephrine. He's fourth outside. He's 3 off the lead. Backed up inside fifth now is Piece of the Rock. Woodstock still with some work to do now as he sweeps up sixth outside. He is third over, but he's still 5 lengths off the lead. 3/4 of a mile put on the board in 1:25-1. Top of the stretch. The lead belongs to Payne's Landing. From first over is Codeword. Western Thorn locked up in the pocket spot. Epinephrine is closing up on the far outside. Way out wide, charging up now Woodstock. A deep stretch lead for Payne's Landing, but Woodstock vaults off third over cover, and he explodes onto the scene late now. Woodstock is clear by 2 lengths in deep stretch. Diving inside is Western Thorn, then Epinephrine. This Metro elimination goes to Woodstock. Second was Western Thorn. Epinephrine finished third. Warby Legend looking for fourth in 1:53-2.
Third and final elimination in the books for the Metro Pace. It was Woodstock getting it done as the favorite. Driver Tim Tetrick joining us. Tim, he's now 3 for 3 to start his career. Last time out, he was on the front. Tonight, from a post-7 start, you opted to take him from off the pace. He's obviously a colt that at this point can do it either way.
Yeah, he's very talented. You know, in the last couple weeks, he hadn't beat anybody yet. Tonight, he beat some better colts, and you know, he's definitely on his way up, and he's got a lot of room for improvement yet, I think.
Ended up third over in the flow, and it wasn't real hot fraction set up front, but were you concerned at all that he might not get up for the win, but he'd obviously make a run at some point?
You know, he's got really quick speed, and the first couple times I qualified him, I was way back, and he made up a lot of ground really quickly. So, you know, he's got a lot of talent, a lot of high speed, and he's got a lot of place to go, I think.
Given an outside post position tonight in his first attempt against Stakes Company, he really couldn't have drawn it up any better than what he was able to do tonight.
No, I thought it was a really good effort. You know, the colt responded well, and you know, I pulled him up early in the turn there, and he really responded. And you know, he was 4 off turning for home, I thought, and you know, he made up a lot of ground, and he went right by him.
Just his third start. Obviously, he's got a lot of room for improvement, but do you think he's obviously headed in the right way, in the right direction?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of high praise for this colt, so you know, he's definitely answered all the questions that we've had so far.
Enjoy the win tonight. Good luck next week.
Thanks, guys.
Tim Tetrick getting it done here in the third and final Metro elimination as Woodstock delivers as the 4-5 favorite.
Here we have Woodstock with the 9 hole. He's hit post position 9, leaving out, gets away 4th with Jim Pantaleano driving. He's part of the entry. Jim takes him back to the rail, past the quarter. Here Jim comes first up with him off a half and 54-4. Makes a real solid move to the top. Just shows his quick speed and how handy he is around a half-mile track. Here's a 3-year-old. Goes right onto the top. Oh, and by the way, the reason you get to hear me right now is because we're having technical difficulties for the sound of the race, so I'm just filling you in as time goes on. Here to head the stretch, Jim just touches him a little bit and off he goes. For a very impressive mile here at Freehold. New Jersey Sire Stakes. 152-2. Woodstock.